online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, get a little dancing in.
We should have choreographed.
This is so not choreographed.
No, not at all.
We're like different.
Clearly not as well choreographed as they were on Clipped tonight. All right, guys, welcome to AfterBuzz TV. This is the after show for Clipped on TBS, Season 1, Episode 5, Big Gay Wedding. I am one of your hosts, Mark J. Freeman, and I am joined by the lovely.
Why, thank you, Mark.
That was a nice little toss up there for you.
The lovely Jordana.
Thank you, guys.
And
Cameron Lewis.
the lovely and vivacious Cameron Lewis as well. All right, guys, let's get talking. We don't have CJ here.
Oh, yeah.
Big
Shout out to
thanks to him.
CJ.
Big thanks to CJ Vanna for joining us last week.
Yeah,
Very fun.
He was a hoot, and he says he will be back. So hopefully he will come back, and we'll get some of the
Come
other
back, CJ.
hoodlums
The more
from
the
Clipped
merrier.
to come. We have an entire this cast of many. They've got to be free on. Someone's got to be free on a Sunday.
Some of them are.
Or Tuesday. Sorry, today's Tuesday.
Can we just talk about that for a second? Talk about a active show on social media.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and a lot of fans in Brazil.
Yeah.
Yes.
Show.
What is with that?
I don't know, but I love it. I've
Yeah.
had so many Brazilian people follow
Yeah.
me on Twitter because of the show. It's so fun.
That's great.
interesting.
Well,
That's
hopefully
cool.
they keep it going for Brazil.
Yeah.
I did. Oh, I'll get to that in news and gossip because I did some digging.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I really like it. And you know what is so funny? And I was gonna say this later, but I'll just bring it up now. That I forget that it's on TBS, and then they'll say something like when he was talking about being, how do I know if I'm gay? And he's like, oh, when a dick's hitting you in the face.
yeah.
And I'm always like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm like, oh wait,
Yeah.
yeah, this is cable. That's right, they can say that. And I just love it. I love it. I feel like it's the producers. I'm drawing a blank now on their names. It's horrible. I know. The producers of Will and Grace.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel like it's like, now we can do everything we wanted to say
Yeah.
on network television, and we can get it all out now on
Yeah, and
TBS.
it's great, but it's great because they don't go overboard with it. Like they're not making those jokes every
Right.
5 seconds, like you might see on like a cable network
Right.
or a extended cable
Yes. Yeah. No, I agree 100%. All right, so let's get into the episode. It started with Tommy showed back up from season 1, episode 1. Buzzy's boyfriend, Tommy, played by Reginald Vell-Johnson from Family Matters, who is fantastic. And it turns out that poor Tommy's mother died.
But he was
But
so
where God
excited.
closes a door, he opens a window.
Yeah.
Because now I guess Buzzy promised that he would marry him if the mother wasn't around.
I love that though.
It was great.
It was
Funny.
really funny.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was so cute. And then when Ben was like, so you guys are getting gay married, or as normal people would say, married.
Married.
I thought that was fantastic. And then he wants to have the ceremony,
In there.
of course, there, because And
I like that part when they were saying the price is right, and when Ben's like, "Oh, well, we haven't talked about the price yet."
Always.
It's like, you cheap idiot.
Always Ben.
And it always starts off. Every episode starts off that way. Have you
Yeah.
noticed that?
Right.
With something
Financial issues.
financial issues
Yeah.
that Ben doesn't want to deal with.
Yeah, totally. And the other thing I was going to say is this was the episode that I actually was in the audience. I don't know if you listened very carefully, people.
hear
You maybe heard my stupid laugh. I didn't hear it. So
When you told
I
me
was
about
edited
that,
out of being in the audience.
I forgot that you had said that last week.
Yeah.
And you told me about that before the show. You said it was my episode, and I go, wait, you were in it?
No,
I don't remember
wasn't
seeing you in it.
Actually, a friend of mine was actually on set. He was an extra on the set that day, and I completely just now realized that I started watching for him in
Yeah.
it, and then I completely blanked and forgot to watch. So I don't even know if you saw my friend in it. He was sitting in AJ's chair.
Okay.
Not at the beginning, because it wasn't. There was a guy that gets up and pays.
Yeah.
Pays AJ and walks out. That wasn't him. He's like later in the episode. He's sitting in AJ's chair.
That's so cool.
Because it was funny because I'm sitting in the audience and I'm just like, God, the guy over there looks just like my friend Jay. And then I was like, oh my God, that is my friend Jay. So, but I did see that part, that opening get taped, and I was telling her, I think you were getting your water before we started. They changed it a little bit from what I saw.
Really?
Yeah, because they at the end of the kind of the climactic part of that scene that ended with Charmaine saying that's what happens when doves cry. That's kind of where it ended.
Yeah.
On here, what I saw, she did say that, but then it kind of continues, and Joy starts going on about all the stuff that she has to do for the wedding, and then gets all panicky and runs out. But that never got aired.
Joy was going crazy.
She was
so intense.
Funny. I
was
love at the
so
very
great.
end when she was talking to the stripper and was like, "Darr!" Yeah.
Or when she was like, we need to get those penis balloons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you just say? Joy?
She
Like,
was
what?
great. Yeah.
I like that though, because I think that's a good example of what we talked about last week, which is that they're giving every one of the cast members really a moment to, okay, this episode, Mark, you're gonna have more lines than the other person. Next episode, you're gonna have less lines than this person. It's a really even playing field.
Yeah, totally.
And they're all very worthy of that.
And capable.
Yeah, and very capable.
I said it. I keep saying every time there's always a new person that I'm like, oh, I like them even more now.
Yeah.
So I think that's
loved
fantastic.
Mo in this episode.
Mo is
Yeah.
a great one in this episode.
Yeah, Mo's really, he's really growing on me, and not just because he worked at AFTERBUZZ. And then they move into the little office.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Ben's teeny tiny office, which matches his size, which
Yeah.
I think is fantastic. Which I actually saw that being filmed too, which was funny, and they kept. This director that we had talked about last week was fantastic. But he kept, every time they'd shoot it, he'd go, put more marbles. I want more marbles. Just fill it with marbles. So they kept adding more and more marbles. It was fantastic. So they want to, Travis wants to merge the Tattoo You and Clipped.
Right. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that'd be a terrible idea.
Yeah.
That was terrible. I
absolutely.
love how Mo was so, like, he knew, too. He was just like, do it because of this and that, and Ben was just like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You don't really matter.
Yeah.
Poor
Right?
Mo.
Yeah.
No, poor Mo.
I was a little heartbroken for Mo.
I
Mo is such a
love
nice
how they're
guy.
just. I just love their friendship that we keep seeing. That
Yeah.
I mean, I get that they're all friends, but they really
They
are.
have
the
Well, he's like the only one who's really loyal to Ben.
Yeah.
No one else actually, likes him as much as Mo
right,
does.
right.
They're so different too,
Mm-hmm.
which is I think it makes it better.
Yeah.
We just got a chat from CJ.
Oh,
CJ.
CJ says, miss you guys, watching from Chicago there in
Oh.
spirit.
Yay!
Thank you,
We miss you,
CJ.
CJ.
CJ Vanna plays Lonnie on the show.
Yeah, he wasn't there
Thank
in this
you.
episode. He did
Hopefully
tell
we
us
see him,
he wasn't
yeah.
going to be in this episode. So, and then one of the. Sorry. When this was the other thing that I love, or Charmaine and her quotes. I
Oh,
said
yeah.
Oh, my
most of
God.
this is Charmaine's lines. I just basically rewrite her part of the script
Yeah.
when I come here. But when her and Charmaine and Danny are talking about the wedding, what are you wearing to the wedding? She goes, I'm wearing these clothes and this expression.
Yeah.
God, she has the funniest line.
She really has the best.
I really liked
lines.
the different side we saw of her in this episode.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
learned, why she was the way, or why she was saying those things to Buzzy.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting because we didn't know she was.
We got her
adopted,
a little bit more of her
right?
backstory.
She was adopted,
Yeah.
or she was in foster.
She
for
was
10
well.
years.
Her parents got married because of her.
Her, yeah.
And then it didn't work out, and then she got put into foster care. So
Mm-hmm.
then she didn't want to be.
Charmaine, played by Diona Reasonover, for everybody who wants to know, I suggest a follow on Twitter because she's
Do it,
hilarious.
yeah.
Hysterical. Just as funny on
So
Twitter as
good.
she is on. And then I was actually reading something too about she was doing an interview on one of the. I was googling some articles about people just to get some more background on them, and she was saying that someone asked her, was your character? When it was originally written, was it written gay, or did they make it gay because of you? And she said she didn't know. So that'd be interesting.
That is
We
interesting.
can get
That question answered.
those questions answered here on
Solve the
AFTERBUZZ.
mystery.
Charmaine.
Flip it apart.
Yes, exactly. And then she was talking about the making fun of the Pinterest pages, which I thought was funny with Danny and all that.
The line that she had that was my favorite, towards the end, where she says, "Tragic Mike" instead of "Magic Mike." That was really funny.
Tragic Mike.
To the stripper.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
listen,
Oh.
Tragic Mike.
That was so funny when she was like, "Oh, so what did she say?" She's like, "I want the lap dance then." And
Yeah.
she just sits down.
I even loved the dancer. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like his whole.
So funny.
And not just because he was go-go, but you know what I mean? Like just the whole, when he came in, I really didn't genuinely know if he was really a cop, like the way it was being played. I was
Right.
like, oh wait, maybe he really is a cop.
Yeah.
Like, no, maybe he's not. I thought that was great.
Whenever Charmaine was talking to Buzzy about the wedding, whenever they were kind of talking about that, did you think that Buzzy was legitimately going to go home at any point and tell Tommy that he didn't want to get married?
I
or
think-
was that something that he was just doing to have conversation with
No,
her?
I think he was
I
going
think
to.
he was too.
Okay.
I think he had kind of convinced himself to do it.
And then I think Charmaine kind of convinced him
Yeah.
too because what she was saying to him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he was probably like, you know what? Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know if I want to go through with this.
Right. I totally think. I think she kind of and then we also saw that they were both strong black women.
Oh, I love that.
Freaking hilarious.
And I love how she says, calls him family.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
whole time. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
we're family.
Well, and if
we understand.
and if you even look at how the shop is set up, and that they're the two that are in that one corner
Yeah.
of the shop together. You know what I mean? It kind of, I don't know,
It fits.
strategic planning.
Yeah, makes
strategic
sense.
planning. I wonder if
And-
that was done intentionally.
she was his best man.
That's right,
That was
which
so
I
cool.
loved.
So cute.
Loved that. And I loved the part, we kind of touched on this a little bit with Ben and Mo, when he's like, you treat me like I'm the Robin, you treat me like this.
Right.
And then they built up to that argument where it was like
The
husband and
circle
wife.
wife, yeah.
And then he went to slam the door. And
he starts, like, yelling at
And
him.
he's like, yeah, I know it doesn't slam. That was great. I mean, just the build to that and everything was great. So then we talked about the stripper showing up, which I didn't realize. I honestly, genuinely didn't know.
Yeah.
if it
And he was like trying to get in their conversation too.
oh, that was
That was
funny too.
funny.
And they
Really
were just
funny.
the whole conversation, them having the conversation with him dancing on top of them. I thought was great.
Yeah.
I like the
love
part where Ashley Tisdale, Danny ducks her head under his leg, and then she's kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
it hit my face.
It hit my head. Yeah,
We
you
have
gotta
to
move.
stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, that was funny. Whenever AJ is having to stall Buzzy up on the roof,
Yeah.
so
Oh yeah,
fun.
that was really funny.
Yeah.
What did he say? He's like, how do you? Or how
He
do
just
I
kept at
know?
like, yeah. How do I know if you don't? If I am, and it's like, well, do you like this? Do you like? I know I was gonna go back and write down everything that he said, but then the last one was, do you like a penis hitting you in the face?
Did you like the penis?
No.
He's like, no. He's okay. Then you're not. And
He
then
was getting so uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
He was like, no, like he
Yeah.
didn't want to talk about this. It was funny.
And I like the way that they framed whenever he sat down. He's like, listen, when I came out, somebody very important to me shared something with me, and I want to show that to you too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then he starts playing porn.
porn. Yeah, and then I love that Mo came over and was like, oh, okay, no, I'm gonna walk
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that it was a small reaction too. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
what are you good?
Yeah.
It was like, he's
Right.
like, okay, well, no.
Yep,
And
not
then
gonna
just
keep.
walked away.
No, I'm not gonna stay and watch this. Yeah.
So fun.
It was
So
so
much
funny.
fun.
And then AJ's reaction too. He's like, no. He's like, I don't want to watch it.
Well, poor AJ had to sit there
Yeah.
watching all that because he was trying to
Stall
stall
him,
him so that Danny could talk to Charmaine and everything. That was great.
Again, another rooftop party.
I know.
Jealous.
I love that whole setup.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want that barbershop.
Yeah.
I want to be there.
Just saying.
And it did. The only complaint I have about this episode, and I do have a complaint.
Ooh.
I know. I hope they're listening and I hope that they listen. It took way too long for the Doyle sisters to show up.
Oh. Yeah.
But when they did,
hill hats and leopard print.
They made a statement.
Did you think I was being serious? You
I was
really
like,
thought?
what
Oh my
did he-
God, what did he not like? Yeah.
I was a little scared.
I was like, what did you not like?
Mark.
Now, their costumes were amazing. I love the leopard print. And then, what's the problem that two queers are getting married before us? I didn't know what Mexican birth control is. Someone might have to educate
Meaning
me.
that it didn't work, I think.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that meant. I wrote it down. I meant to ask you guys off camera. But why? When I can ask you on camera.
Just do it
and
on
embarrass
camera.
myself.
Yeah, totally
and
fine.
So I can get people to write comments below and say, Mark's stupid.
And
He doesn't know what
which
that
Doyle
is."
sister was it?
Rosalie got married.
Married at 18.
Rosalie got married in
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City
City.
to a guy at Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donut, yeah,
which
Donut
there
Bar.
is a Dunkin' Donuts now here right around the corner, by the way. If everyone doesn't know that works at AfterBuzz that's paying attention, yes. I have not stopped yet on my way, but I drive by and go, one of these days I'm going to stop and have a donut. Yes, no, that was fantastic. I was waiting the whole episode. I'm like, where are the Doyles?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Doyles
They
yet.
always come out.
Yeah,
They can't
I know.
just leave them out.
And there hasn't been an episode that there hasn't been at least one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been in everyone.
I'm pretty sure all of them have
Yeah, I
been
think
now,
all of
yeah.
them show up at
Okay.
some
Which
point.
I hope keeps happening because they're freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, they were, I think, in the last 5 minutes of this episode, not even, right? And they were so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't even have to be on for that long, and you just die of
Yeah,
laughter.
they just open the door and
Yeah,
I just
you
start
you're like,
laughing.
yep.
They don't even have to say anything and I just start laughing.
I think that we need to do a show. Well, first of all, we need to get all the Doyle sisters in here.
Yeah, we
Second
do.
of
I'm
all,
working
we have to dress as the Doyle sisters for an episode.
Oh,
my
that
God,
would
the
be
red wigs.
fantastic.
Red wigs,
I do have a red
overalls.
wig.
Oh.
I do have a red. I might have multiple. I've been known to have a few.
been
That's a
known to
whole
own
nother
some
after
hair.
show program. That's the after show. We're not even going to go there.
Clipped after dark.
That sounds so bad.
Oh my god.
Oh,
we
where
could
we
call
go?
it sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts. It could happen.
See, I
Mark.
have Tostinos for Days of Our Lives, and I can get Dunkin' Donuts for Clipped. See, look at this. Look at this.
I think that show's called Tucked.
Yeah. Oh, oh, and there was a reference to RuPaul's Drag Race on this episode too. They talked about
There
that.
was.
That's a quick little reference.
I love the
I
Doyle
think they were-
sisters in the wedding too, or in the
Oh,
yeah.
the
by
dance, and
the way.
like you're just, and then all of a sudden they stand up to do the doo-wop was fantastic.
Yeah.
There was a moment too that I thought was so sweet was when Ben and Mo,
I love
and
that.
he said, "You'll always be my superhero."
And he brings out the
Batman
Batman
shirt.
shirt. And you could tell he gets, obviously, he gets a
so
little
cute.
emotional. He's like, don't cry.
Bromance.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
cute,
it was so,
so
sweet. Yeah, and I loved, and again with the just Joy when she was like yelling at the stripper, like, she's like, you were just happening to be in the right place at the right time. Get out there. Oh, I just loved her. She wasn't on much, but again, it's like you even if you don't see them for a lot, like the little bits that they get, they do so much with it.
Yeah.
They're all fantastic. And then they did the choreographed.
That was great.
You're all I need to get by.
So much fun.
Which you know what that reminded me of is the old I know I probably should be talking about this person, but Cosby Show episode where Cosby used to do the dances on the stairwell for the grandparents for their birthdays and stuff.
Yeah.
That kind of is what it reminded me of when it started. I was like, oh, it kind of reminds me of that.
I wasn't expecting that at the end.
Yeah.
When they all
No.
just like, woo, come out.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
And then the confetti at the end, just like shooting out.
Yeah.
It
I
was
just
a
thought
total
I thought it
musical.
was so cute. I don't know. It was
That must have been a fun shoot day too.
I know,
was
right?
fun.
Yeah.
That had, and then when the Doyle stood up to
Oh.
do the doo-wops and all that good stuff was pretty great.
I like when, like at the end when Travis comes back and he's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
so what about this deal? And then and Ben's like, oh, me and Mo are just, we're
Yeah.
going to discuss it. And Mo's like, you can do whatever you want. He's like, I'm in it. I'm with it. And then Mo's like, what? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to deal with you guys anymore.
Yeah.
And Travis like, I don't want to deal with this, you two married couple. Because
Yeah,
they literally are
they
like
are.
a married
They
couple.
literally are like, and then I think even Buzzy
Buzzy says
says,
it.
I think yours are the gayest couple in here or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. God, that would have been a bad place. The tattoo parlor.
That would have been a bad idea.
Yeah.
That would have
I don't
been the
know what he was
creepiest,
thinking.
skeeviest operation.
Well, I think Ben is just thinking financial.
Right.
I don't
Well, obviously.
think whether it's a good idea or not doesn't
Yeah.
matter. If
I wonder
he-
what
if he's
Travis
gonna-
was thinking. Oh,
Probably
people
the
are going to
same.
get their hair cut. Now they want a tattoo.
Yeah. Well, and for him too, it could be just to get to the
Funny.
girls.
Oh,
Knowing
Probably.
Travis,
Yeah,
you know what I
probably.
mean. So
Oh,
he's
yeah. I
thinking
totally
with
forgot
the
about
wrong.
his perv side.
Let's just say
Yeah.
he met the Doyle sisters.
Yeah.
And he was like, we gotta make a deal.
Gotta get in there. Gotta get in there. And then, and actually, the Doyle sisters too, when they said that this is the worst reception ever because all the cute guys are gay.
And their room is
And
right
my
there.
bedroom's right there. Yeah. So they all four live together,
I'm assuming
I'm
so.
assuming.
I think so.
right? Okay. Because it hasn't actually been clarified,
Yeah,
but
I think
I
I'm
think
assuming.
they have to.
Yeah.
Because they
Okay.
always pop their little head out of the window and they're like, all of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Because the one time, those 2 episodes ago when, is it Rita slept with Ben? Which one
Yeah,
slept with Ben?
Rita.
Rita?
Right?
I believe so.
Oh, I have to
They
get all
get
these names
confused.
right.
It's
I
so
know.
hard because they all look alike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are the only characters I struggle on this show with their names.
Well,
because
and
they
they're all
look the
ours and
same.
stuff.
Yeah.
Every week, I on the way home, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna really work on those
Gonna
names,
go
and then
through
then life happens,
Yeah.
and I figure I got other things to do. But
With your hair wigs.
right now, I know, is it falling? I can't ever tell. Stay. All right. For those of you that are listening, you can't see all that, but whatever. Yeah. So the Doyles, we love them, and hopefully we can convince them to come join us because I would love to have them.
Oh, my
here.
dear, that would be amazing.
That would be. Well, I need the big studio, Stephen, if that happens, because there's 4 of them, and they're bubbling personalities.
We can squeeze them
We
in
have
here.
another shout out over here.
Oh.
Coco Chanel. She says, Roll Tide from Alabama. Show Alabama some love.
Oh.
So shout out to Coco.
Love you,
Chanel.
Alabama.
Yes, we do.
Thanks
Well,
for listening, state of Alabama.
They're gonna hate me because I'm a Buckeye, so only she'll understand. But we'll let that go, Coco, because that's yet again another show. So why don't we get into some news and gossip while we're here?
AfterBuzz TV News.
Because I did a little digging about, I was like, I'm gonna just Google Clipped season 2 and see what comes up. And there was a little article about this season and whether there was going to be a season 2 or not. And they just said there wasn't a date, but there was a thing on there where you could click and it said, we'll alert you when it gets announced, if it gets announced. And I tried to do it through my phone and it didn't work, so I'll have to try it when I get home. But they did say that the premiere episode of Clipped had 1.45 million total viewers. And it might be TBS's saving grace.
That's a pretty strong one for,
Yeah.
or for TBS.
Yeah. And they said because there's no word yet that it has been canceled, they think that it may be a good sign that there will be a season.
Yeah,
I feel
and
like there will.
I think so.
Yeah.
And
good
also,
show.
like I said earlier, the social interaction on this show is crazy. It's been
Yeah.
ridiculous. So I
Yeah.
think that is just as important nowadays as the viewership. So
Absolutely.
fingers crossed.
And if people are watching us or listening to us on iTunes, follow them. Use hashtag Clipped, tweet TBS, whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
If you guys want it to stay, because I know I want it to stay, and I want to keep watching.
I do too. I
And
love
if it
this
gets
show.
canceled, I will start a new campaign for a new spin-off, The Doyle Sisters.
Yes.
That's true. Yeah.
I was just
And then they
gonna
can all
say,
come on as
Absolutely.
guests.
Absolutely.
We'll find a way. We'll find a way. We'll find a way. So yeah. So that was that. Yeah. If I did that, that was my digging today for.
Good digging,
Do you
Mark.
guys have any predictions?
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Oh, that was different.
I like that.
Yes, no, I love when you guys surprise me here at
I-
AfterBuzz TV. It's
I
exciting.
predict that
Almost as exciting as the Doyle sisters coming out.
Yeah.
that is
Almost.
that's potentially. I think that takes the cake for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I predicted we'll have all Doyle's sister episode.
Yeah.
Where we dig into something about them, or the main plot line is going to be about them. That is
Yeah.
my biggest one for this week, though. Jordana?
I need to think about it I have no idea.
Mark.
No prediction. I'm gonna. Well, I mean, we kind of talked about this once before. I think when you were not here, that I think there will be another interaction with a Doyle and another.
A Doyle's gonna sleep with someone.
Yeah, I think there's
I
gonna be
can see it
another rendezvous at the
Ben,
Doyle
again.
house.
I believe it.
I don't know if
I
it's
believe it.
Travis.
Do we think Ben's gonna sleep with all four?
Oh, God.
I could see it.
I could totally
happening.
see that, and I think it'd be
And then I can
absolutely
see all of them
fantastic.
getting really upset with each other.
Yeah, and like
getting jealous.
yeah,
Oh man, all four. That would be a thing.
that would be a thing.
That would be
But
a
I
thing.
Ben's the one that I would do it.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I also think Ben and Danny are gonna end up
Really?
together at some point, and I don't know why. I've said that since the first.
You
I don't,
never know.
Oh, Ben and Danny?
Yeah, I
Oh.
don't know why, but I think it's gonna be a drunken mishap or something.
What about
Joy
Danny.
and Mo.
who?
Joy and Mo.
Joe. Well, we know that's going to go somewhere. I don't know that that's going to go somewhere this season.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of those ones they're going to have to wait on.
Yeah.
Which I like when I don't like when they rush stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was actually surprised. I think we talked about it. Was it the first one time I was here that we talked about Danny and AJ? I was
Yeah.
surprised how quickly they
Yeah.
had them
Yeah.
kind of.
We haven't seen much of that in these past
Yeah.
two
No.
episodes. Like past two episodes.
Well, but we also, as CJ did tell us though too, that he thought that they did move this episode up. That this was supposed to be later in the season. That he thought that they'd moved it forward because of the gay marriage stuff going through.
Interesting.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
So,
yeah.
which you want to tie it all in. But-
Right.
So maybe something was supposed to happen that hasn't happened yet. It got kind of pushed back for the gays.
Hashtag.
Word to the gays. All right, you guys. Where can we find you on social media if we want to tweet about Clipped?
You guys can find me at Jordana_Morfin. Where can we find you?
You can find me at The Only Camshaft, Twitter and Instagram, CameronLewis.com. Hey, subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. 5 stars, reviews. We love all of that stuff. Use the hashtag ABTVClipped on the Tweety machine.
Please, please, please. Let's get a second season because we don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And we want to get those Doyle sisters here. And it might take us a season to do that.
We have to.
If you want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, I am at Lorraine Love, LORAYNE, and on Facebook / the Mark J. Freeman. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.